Who let the dogs out? Apparently, Hanna-Barbera did in 1983. Today, we're talking about one of the most forgotten Saturday morning cartoons of the 80s.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
If you grew up in the early 80s like I did, you know Saturday mornings were sacred. Cereal bowl in hand, pajamas still on, sitting way too close to the TV. Because apparently, eyesight was optional back then. Every now and then, mixed in with the big hitters, you'd get one of those weird little shows that somehow lodged itself in your memory forever. For me, The Biscuits. Now I'm going to be honest with you. For years, I kept getting The Biscuits mixed up with the Paw Paws. And can you really blame me? Both shows had that unmistakable Saturday morning fever dream energy. Tiny animal characters? Check. Colorful fantasy worlds? Check. A whole kingdom full of chaos and nonsense before I'd even finished my second bowl of cereal? Double check. At some point, my brain just filed them both into the same category. Small creatures getting into wacky adventures while I'm half awake in front of the TV. You had the Paw Paws running around with their magical bear-themed fantasy vibe, and the Biscuits out there as a squad of little dogs dealing with royal mishaps, goofy villains, and cartoon chaos. Different shows, sure. But to childhood me, they were basically cousins in the shared universe of tiny animals causing trouble. Honestly, if you had told me that there was a crossover episode where the Paw Paws visited King Max's castle and everyone spent 20 minutes chasing each other through trapdoors, I would have believed you, without question. Now you're probably asking yourself, what was The Biscuits? Well, it was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon that aired on CBS from 1983 to 1984. Only 13 episodes were made, which means it had a shorter runtime than most dogs chasing a mailman. The setup was also pretty wild. You had a group of tiny dogs living on Biscuit Island, protecting royal treasure in Biscuit Castle. Think Robin Hood, but if everyone was a dog and occasionally looked like they were drawn during a coffee break. Leading the pack was Wags, the brave hero type. Then there was Sweets, the kind-hearted one, Shiner, the jealous, lazy one, Downer, who is basically canine anxiety in cartoon form, and Mooch, whose entire personality was food. Honestly, relatable lineup.
Hidden deep in a swamp lies tiny Biscuit Castle. Home of the smallest dogs in the world, the Biscuits! For years, kings have entrusted their royal treasure to these pups. Now, from a nearby castle, rules the wasteful King Max. Sheke, we must find the royal treasure! What? Sheke!
Oh, yes, sire.
Biscuits!
Let's talk about the real reason I remember this show. The villain, King Max. King Max ruled neighboring Lower Suburbia. He was mean, greedy, dressed like royalty had hit hard times, and he was constantly yelling for his sidekick.
Sheke, we must find the royal treasure!
That's it. That is the thing that's burned into my brain for decades. I forgot plots, I forgot episode names, I forgot my homework, but I will never forget.
Shecky, we must find the royal treasure!
And poor Shecky was basically doing everything. Court jester, cleaner, cook, punching bag. He wasn't just a sidekick, he was an underpaid employee. The show had that classic Hanna-Barbera formula. Recycled animation, big personalities, weird sound effects, characters running in place for 3 seconds before moving. Somehow, it all worked. There was something cozy about these cartoons, even the oddball ones. Because when you're a kid, you didn't care if a show only lasted 1 season. You just knew. Cartoons were on, life was good, and the sugar was hitting. Also, let's appreciate that the Biscuits' greatest enemy was a giant cat named Scratch. Because, of course it was. Dog show needs cat billing. That's basically cartoon law. The Biscuits disappeared pretty quickly, replaced by other shows, and it never became one of those heavy hitters. No toy line, no cultural takeover, no reboot in the 90s where everyone has attitude and sunglasses. Although, it would have been kind of cool to get the Biscuits Extreme! No, just me. For those of us who do remember the Biscuits, it's one of those strange little time capsules from a magical time on TV. A show you forgot existed until somebody mentions it, and then suddenly you hear it again.
Shecky, we must find the royal treasure!
Did you watch the Biscuits back in the day? Did you also spend years mixing it up with the Pawpaws like I did? And most importantly, who really let the dogs out?
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Drop your memories, favorite forgotten cartoons, and all your Saturday morning nostalgia down in the comments. If you enjoyed this trip back to the weird and wonderful world of 80s animation, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into retro cartoons, toys, and pop culture treasure. We have got plenty more forgotten classics coming your way. You know what's coming next. Yep, tiny dogs, tiny bears, the Pawpaws. Until next time, guys, stay minty, stay fresh. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.